Can we get any sort of hint as to what's on the horizon for Nuclear Winter? What's next?
No.
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 Nope, we're done. Moving on. Bye.
Yes. So the #1 request that you guys have asked for is a change of location. So we have been working hard at doing just that. So very soon we'll be taking the battle to the town of Morgantown. And we'll be saying... what we wanted to do was find something completely different than Flatwoods, and Morgantown offers us that. It's a lot more urban. There's a lot more verticality to it, and so it'll be a whole new way for you guys to battle each other and a new map to master.
Yeah, the Morgantown area that we cover here has the highest point inside Appalachia, so it's the tallest spot on the map. You've got the Morgantown Airport, you've got Vault-Tec U, there's all kinds of great areas in there. And then as we've moved the area, the location of the storm has moved across Appalachia, we actually come across new monsters too. So we're gonna be running into the Grafton monster there, which might be showing here in a moment. But there's a huge area of water mass, there's a big lake in. So if you wanna spawn in the lake and get your rads, you'll mutate into something cool, which in Nuclear Winter, again, you get rad mutations, and they're actually always positive. We hide all the negative effects, so you can turn into something cool at the cost of your other side of your health. But yeah, it is a really fun location, much more urban sprawl, rooftops, jumping around, and we've been playing it right now, and people are really digging it. So it should be coming very soon.
So there is a lot more coming for Nuclear Winter, but you guys definitely haven't forgotten about Adventure Mode. In fact, a little while ago, you announced that Vault Raids would be coming to the game. How will these, yes, thank you. Somebody's very excited. How will these work, and when can players expect this content?
You want to take one, Chris?
Sure. So we are finalizing the first vault, which is Vault 94. It is a pretty expansive vault. We do think it will be very challenging. I myself have been challenged in the playtest many times trying to get to the end of it. I think some of the rewards are really cool that you're going to get out of it. Some that might actually help you hide a little better in the environment.
Yeah.
You should see one on the screenshots coming up here soon. When is it coming out? It should be in the next few weeks. I do believe we are hitting the finaling touches on it. Barring something really major, unforeseen, we'll get it out soon.
And
yeah, definitely August.
how many players are these vaults made for?
The vaults are designed for 4 players. You can solo, duo, triple them as you will if you're a masochist. They're super hard, so just a little more context there. When you go in, you get to choose one of 3 different difficulty levels. The first one, I believe, is called Novice, and you go in. It's still very difficult, don't get me wrong. It's probably a good way to get used to the vault and the puzzles and how to handle it. It's very puzzle-based. You have to figure out the right blend and balance between taking down mobs and opening doors and doing different things. The second 2 levels add a time pressure. The rewards go up. There's internal time pressures minute to minute, but this is a meta time pressure, so you have to do the whole thing in a certain amount of time. And remember, we're inside the vault. It's a great place we're legendary spawn, so you're able to farm legendaries in there. You'll get mid rewards halfway through and at the end, so if you fail at the end, you're not totally unrewarded. Obviously, you also get all the loot you gather in there. And at the end, we're rewarding different pieces of armor, and we're going to put a new set piece armor in. You'll see it right there. It's the power armor with all the ferns on it. I call it the potted plant power armor. But it is super used for Nuclear Winter. It's a fun, exciting thing. And once you have the whole set, it gives you an additional bonus. So there's a new mechanic right into the game where we put set bonuses in the game, and you're going to be able to loot them out of the vault raids.
Yeah, you might be able to solo that content. There's no way I can.
People in work can. Somebody at work with a whole play test, they figured it out. It is hard.
I think my favorite personal part about Vault Raids is that anybody that's thinking about storming Area 51, this is good practice. And then you get it out of your system and not do that. So you can
We
do
don't
Vault
encourage
Raids.
that.
Do not do that, please.
But if you find something, please let us know.
Virtual storming and collecting goodies.
So you mentioned that Vault 94 is coming first. Can we talk about any of the other vaults? Any differences in themes or challenges?
We are actively in development of a second vault, I'll be honest. It will be, we don't know when it's going to come out exactly, but it will be in the not too distant future. And if it depends on the community, right? If you like these and you want us to build more, we'll keep building them. We love them internally, so we hope you do too.
We do want to space out the release enough to where we can gather some feedback about Vault 94 and then act on it with Vault 96.
Yes.
Great.
And of course, when we talk about big changes coming to adventure mode, we can't forget about Wastelanders, which was announced at E3 this year. Another big update.
Big.
So if you haven't seen it, or if you just want to watch it again because it's fun, let's take a watch at the teaser trailer we revealed at E3 this year.
It's been some time since Vault 76 opened its door. And we all discovered that Appalachia isn't quite what it used to be. We encountered a lot of things. Overcame a lot of things. I don't think any of us expected for people to actually come back.
Are you from that vault? Can you help us? We've traveled pretty far. Heard there's hope here in Appalachia. Folk rebuilding, fighting back. We'll fight too, right by your side. We've been everywhere and seen everything. And the one thing we've learned is this. You gotta claim the wasteland before it claims you. The question is, are you with us or with them?
I love watching people get excited about dialogue trees.
I'm excited
do,
about
yeah.
dialogue
So
trees.
excited.
I know a lot of players are as excited about Wastelanders as I am, and as Anne is, and as the whole team is. Jeff, what can you tell us about this new, completely free update?
It's got NPCs. No,
That's it.
Listen, I'm actually getting PTSD from being at the Shrine Theater and having to go on stage and talk about this.
You got to start it. That's right.
Yes, that's right, that's right. So anyways, Wastelanders is, again, year one was the Vault 76 players coming out, establishing economies, which you've successfully done, sometimes to our chagrin. You've done, but basically reestablishing human presence in the wasteland. And now, I guess, despite the fact that nukes fly there every day, people want to come back. So we're getting, obviously Settlers and Raiders faction are coming back into the Wild Appalachia. There's going to be new settlements. They're going to fully infest the map. I just need to be clear. Like we're going to put new random encounters, points of interest. There's actually sub-factions, not just those two that will be involved here. There will obviously be dialogue with all those, a whole new quest line. We want to make sure this content's also sustainable. You just can't just do a main quest and be done with it. So you're going to be seeing this presence in the game going forward.
Yeah, this is content we're going to lean on, we think, for as long as the game is around, right? I think the number one requested feature after launch was, where are the NPCs? We want to see humans. So they're here. It took a while to write all that story. I can, having played some of the early play tests, it does dramatically change just the feel of the game. From the moment you walk out of the vault and you're interacting with NPCs to going to a tavern where there's an NPC bartender, I think it changes it a lot for me. I do think we will be leaning into this, going forward with more story, even as people complete this.
That kind of leads us into the next question. I mean, this is such a huge change to the game. How do you predict that the overall player experience is going to evolve with Wastelanders?
I think a lot of it's going to be feel. I think the world is going to feel more alive. It's going to be more variety of encounters. It's going to be a more varied world. Not just with the story, with people finding the raiders, finding the settlers, but also all the random encounters, the hostile raiders that you run into, some of the minor factions that we're not going to talk about yet. Things like that are going to dramatically change the game. Yeah, I got the...
No, I'll talk about one. I'll go on the line. One of the minor factions is going to be revolve on a cultist of the Mothman. Yeah. So while there are minor facts,
It's going to be Jess.
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be done. And remember that the raiders aren't just like, crazy cannibals. There's those kind of raiders, but the raiders in the settlement are more, they use extreme measures to protect themselves, right? The settlers, we try to dance within shades of gray, not just black and white. So the settlers have their own motivations as well. Some might be nefarious. You'll uncover those throughout the quest. And remember, as I'm sure as you folks all play games and I do, like there's a story I'm telling myself and the story the game's telling me. So this is the element of the game that we wanted to add back in, the story the game's telling me. And that's there with the Overseer quest line and other things within the game. But this is really like you interacting with these NPCs, their motivations, their hopes, their fears, and influencing them, right, through dialogue and your actions. So within the dialogue trees, you will be able to go through them and using your specials, you'll be able to influence how those dialogues play out. But depending on your actions, we are putting a reputation system in, so you'll be able to align yourselves with one faction or the other, or play the middleman and play both, maybe double cross against each other. You'll be able, in fairness, you're not going to ever be locked into one or the other. You will be able to, you won't be making permanent decisions. So we're just super excited. The more and more about Wastelanders we hear, we were starting to see all the little POIs and the tiny little stories that come from these. So you can come across two raiders trying to kill a Brahmin. Do you decide to help those raiders? Do you decide to save the Brahmin? Do you decide to help the raiders, save the Brahmin, then kill them all? It's all up to you. Have fun.
We already talked about how excited we are for the dialogue trees, but I think a lot of people are really curious with a game like this. How do the dialogue trees work compared to past titles? And also, how will they work with Fallout 76's perk card system?
So I think as Jeff mentioned, the attributes you put in your specials will give you more choices or different choices on the dialogue trees. So a character with more perception might have some different options versus another character who's more spec for charisma or for strength even. So that's how we expect it to play. So it should be different depending upon how the special points are allocated across your character. And I can't remember your other question, so.
Well, remember. Whoa, hey. Sorry, Europe. Sorry, stream. No, so remember, like, it's not just, it's also based on your actions. So you'll have dialogue choices available to you whether or not your reputation within that faction is good or bad or neutral. So the combination of those, and also remember, this isn't the Fallout 4 dialogue system. This is more like Fallout 3, where you have a list of stuff.
All right.
I agree. So where you have a list of things, and you'll be able to, you're not just limited to those sort of generic options, nor do the designers have to force the dialogue options for things that made no sense. So, we're, like I said, and the combination of the reputation system, the new dialogue trees, I mean, this is going to be a full-fledged RPG. We're super excited. And again, this is just the beginning of that. These are the tools we're building to create all future content as well.
And with the introduction of NPCs and the factions and settlements, will we also see the return of companions?
Yes. So, well, can we talk about it? So, one of our
Where is that coming from?
Oh, what's happening?
There will be companions. We're still iterating exactly on the mechanics of how they're going to work, but there will be companions that you can bring back to your camp, and then they will take you on various quests, and you can do things with them that are very specialized.
The key point, they're definitely companions. The key point is that mainly they're going to stay in your camps. They're going to be in your camp. On very specific quests, they will definitely accompany you to help you or hinder you or surprise you with certain things on your way. But remember that you can definitely romance these companions and go up and down favor them depending on, again, your actions within the game and where they're aligned.
I know Tumblr was very curious about the romance possibilities, so that's good.
Eyebrow wiggle.
That's Tom's most feature.
Oh, yeah. I like romancing things. In video games.
Can we talk about anything else that's going to be coming with the Wastelanders update, including some of the new weapons that we saw in the concept art that we shared, or some of the new enemies, like that creepy guy from the trailer or anything, or new locations like Crater, which we saw in the teaser?
I'm excited about can I even say what the guys walking around the power armor are?
It's you.
It's me. I can't move. I'm going to sit like this.
Yeah, just sit the whole time, yep.
So
here's actually some more concept art of weapons that we're doing. We're doing a whole new Gauss tree, like of weapons, spread of weapons. Yep. Yeah. That guy is the Wendigo Colossus, so he does have a name. And
He's
he's
huge.
the creepiest thing I think we put in the game, and we put some creepy shit in that game. More plasma weapons. These are floaters. They're from, if anyone remembers, the original games. They're from the original Fallouts. Yeah. More, sorry, I guess it's sort of weird. We're supposed to be talking over this, not reading from script. But this is, again, more Gauss weapons, more miniguns, the Colossus again. We're also putting, obviously you saw in the trailer, archery and bows. And while that might seem a step back from submachine guns and nukes you can shoot, we're going to put new perks behind that. And so you're going to be able to use that if you're a more stealthy character or a hunter. We're also going to allow you to maybe strap dynamite to arrows and shoot them, which I love because I grew up with Dukes of Hazzard. So yeah.
Go full Hawkeye. And I'm sure a lot of people are interested to know, do you have like a time frame or a window that we can share about when we can expect to play Wastelanders?
I won't.
Come by the office. Oh, I'm just kidding.
People take this stuff very
I know.
We are shooting, like I said, for fall, we are targeting November, okay?
Can I just say how envious I am of all of you guys that you're going to be able to experience this thing as a completed product, fresh, this fall? Because that's like one of the few negatives of being a developer of BGS is like you see it as it's being created, and you don't see like the final picture. And I think as a fan, being able to just experience it as a like, this is it. That's awesome, and I wish I could do it.
Fallout 76 is constantly evolving and adapting to player feedback, which is, I mean, honestly, awesome, because it's meant a lot of changes.
We get a lot of feedback.
A lot of feedback.
We do. Good, bad.
What are some of the things that you guys will be focusing just in the months leading up to Wastelanders?
So one of the things will be, is my mic on? I can't hear
There you
myself.
go,
Oh, there we go. One of the things we are looking at doing in the very, very near future is making some changes to the event system. A lot of this does come with player feedback, like we're going to make fast travel to events free. We are going to make the events that are active on the map very visible in the UI. We're doing things like making sure that if you participate in the event, you have a chance to get a reward, as well as making the rewards more predictable. So I think it's a lot of changes around events that the players will like. And it's based directly on feedback that we've collected with that.
Yeah, we realize events are one of the cornerstones of our game. Obviously, the community and the community systems, we're talking about Wastelanders and Nuclear Winter, but we are very big on continuing to support community-based events. And including this, and so you'll pull up your mini map. You'll be able to see how long the event's been going on, what the rewards are, fast travel there for free. We're also going to separate public events from regular events to better get people together playing those, make them a little harder, a little more rewarding, and more, like Chris said, more predictable.
Any upcoming quality of life improvements?
I've got one for we're adding one to Nuclear Winter that people have requested quite a bit. It's we're calling it perk choosing. What it does is when you get a new perk card and it's a duplicate, we're giving you tickets you can redeem to basically purchase perks with those tickets you get for selecting your own perks. So right now, perks are basically kind of randomized inside Nuclear Winter, but with perk choosing, you get to craft your own deck based on the dupes you get. So that was a big request, and that's going in relatively soon. So people can get to Frog Leg sooner or anything else that they want sooner. So that's one that we're putting in from a quality of life perspective on the Nuclear Winter side.
You can get frog legs.
Great, get frog legs. Although we did nerf frog legs, people asked for that too. Yep. Diminishing returns. It comes, it's all good.
You know, also for Wastelanders, we have two more big ambitious goals that will land at or around the launch of Wastelanders. One is we're calling it internally, it's a sort of a pointy hat word, renormalization. We're basically looking at the balance as a whole and trying to make sure that it's not, any new players coming in don't see a big wave of level 300 players and feel like they can't have fun and compete in the game. So we're going to look at making that a little more, it's called normalized, where you take the highs and the lows and you sort of bring them together a little bit. Obviously, strong characters will still be strong, and weak characters will still have things they struggle with, but we're going to try to bring that in a little, especially for events and things, so players can engage and come together and help each other and support, which this community loves to do. Secondly, we've talked about this as well, the legendary perk system. So I'll give you a couple, I'm probably spoiling some advanced questions. They're looking ahead on me. So the legendary perk system, like we're being sort of vague on this because it's still, it's still being developed. when you're in game design, you have to iterate on things, and you put them in the game, and you have to try things and see what works and what doesn't work. And before you guys get to try things and see what works and didn't work. So people should have laughed at that. Anyways, so anyway, what we're trying to do is basically after level 50, around every 50 levels, you guys are going to hold me to this. It's probably going to change. You're going to be able to choose a special that you become legendary in, and then within that special, you're going to have an array of perk cards you can choose from just for that slot that you're then able to level up as well. So if you're already level 300, you'll get several of these right off the bat. And so you'll be able to get, yeah, it's cool. You'll be able to get new perks, super powerful perks, frankly, and you'll be able to then slot them in and use them on your character. And even cooler, we're adding sort of a new game plus in. You'll be able to go back, when you start a new character, you'll be able to then use those perks on the new character as well. So you'll have a leg up in case you want to start a new character. Yeah.
Yep. Very cool.
Now it's set in stone.
That is
So yeah, we're super thrilled about both those changes. I think that, so you're getting, with, again, Wastelanders, which is totally free, you're going to get all this as well.
Great. So in our remaining time, we do have a few community questions that we pulled from our forums last week. So we'll just dive right into those. You mentioned how important community feedback is. In reference to getting that feedback and reporting, where is the dev team looking, and what is the best place for players to submit feedback if they don't already know?
We look at a lot of different things. I cannot move. Okay.
Don't move at all. Be a robot.
We look at a lot of different places, but the two primary ones are our own forums and Reddit. Those are the places that not only our developers frequently go to look, but our community team really surfaces things from there to our live team daily. So we are getting daily reports on what's being talked about, what's trending, what's important to the community.
Yep.
So we take all that feedback, and then we, obviously the things that we can fix quickly, we try to do in a patch, and the things that we can't fix quickly, like add NPCs to the game, then that's more scheduled out long term.
Yeah, we really encourage all of you guys to be active in the various forums or on Reddit or whatever. And it's something we truly pay attention to. In fact, we even reached out to a handful of you earlier this year before Nuclear Winter went live and brought you down here to Dallas to hang out with us and play Nuclear Winter in advance, just to kind of get a pulse of what you guys would think of the game before we went to E3 with it. And that's the kind of stuff that we continue to plan on doing going forward. So be active.
I think another big question that we've seen is PTS.
I don't know what that means.
That falls into that list of things we can't do really quickly.
Chris, tell me what a PTS is for the audience.
Listen,
first.
we are public tester. We are actively engaging in several measures to make sure that the builds that are delivered to you are at the highest quality. So obviously that is one of them. There are others as well. It's just, again, we have to balance what we want to ship Wastelanders and all the stuff I just talked about too. So, but obviously we also want that to be as high of quality as possible. So we're actively engaging in making sure that these builds get to you either earlier through a PTS server or something else.
Can players expect any balance changes for weapons and armor coming down the line?
For Nuclear Winter, yes. It's something we've continued to do. I think every update we've done some level of balancing either to perks or to weapons. We'll continue to do it. As something feels overpowerful, we'll adjust. If we see something not being used enough, we'll boost it. Yeah, we'll do it.
And as Jeff mentioned, for Wastelanders, we're looking at doing a pretty big balance pass on the entire game.
And we always look for high nails, things that are either are underpowered or overpowered. And we try not to. Our new philosophy is to, if we have to nerf anything, we try to also raise things as well. So we're giving you options, but different play styles. I like asynchronous design, so I like different trade-offs, not just an end damage output, but so we always look for ways to make things have different advantages and clear decisions for you guys to make, guys and girls to make, as you play the game.
Are there any plans to increase the camp budget?
We are looking at ways to increase the camp budget. Yes, we recognize that. I mean, building is a very important part of the game, especially the Elder game. It's something that we see players who have played for a long time engage with very frequently. We see that both in direct community feedback and also in our own data on the back end. There is a trade-off to just increasing the entire budget. So we're looking at creative ways to give players more opportunities to build in different places in the world. Maybe also with things like private servers and stuff like that, coming in the near future.
Do you have any news on private servers? Skipping ahead to that question down the list.
What was that?
Any news on private servers?
Oh, yes. They're coming sooner than you think. That's all I'll say.
Welcome.
Will there ever be server-wide event notifications?
Sorry, I could not understand it.
Server-wide event notifications.
Server.
Well, that's what we talked about with that.
Yeah.
We sort of covered that with the map changes we're going to do. So when you're looking for events, you'll see them clearly, and you can go there for free and know where they're at, and you'll make better decisions on what events you want to join and not join.
And I have one more question left. Fashnacht was fun. Are there any more events coming soon?
Yeah, we are working on some seasonal events. We're working on one for Halloween. We'll be working on some for early winter. And we love Fashnacht too, so we can't wait to bring it back as well.
And remember, next week is Meat Week. So if you haven't read about that online, the Super Meat Graham is going to be offering more seasonal-based events on collecting meats. So it'll be a ton of fun, and I'm sure the community will get a lot out of it. That should be coming in our next patch. Or sorry, next Thursday, 8/1 is our goal.